On the day when the Church celebrates All Souls' Day, Catholics of the Holy Land gathered to pray for their loved ones. Be like shepherds and like angels. This is the desire of the Custos of the Holy Land during the inauguration of the Friar's Home in the place of the Vigil and of the announcement of Christmas in Bethlehem. On Sunday, October 29th, more than 2,000 Catholic faithful went to the Terra monastery to celebrate the feast of Our Lady, Queen of Palestine. Introducing the city of Jerusalem to its children is the purpose of the project. Learn closely guided tours of historical and religious sites promoted by the Pro Terra Sancta Association in collaboration with the Jericho Mosaic Center. There are over 130 booths at the 8th edition of the Micro-Enterprise Palestinian Women's Bazaar, including Nadia Hasbun's kiosk from Bethlehem, where unique jewelry pieces were exhibited. In the Latin parish of St. Saviour in Jerusalem, the pastor, Father Nirwan Albana, celebrated the Holy Mass in commemoration of all the faithful deceased. The Custos of the Holy Land, Father Francisco Patone, was also present. In the homily, Father Nirwan commented on two biblical episodes: the evangelical story of Lazarus' resurrection in Bethany by the work of Jesus, and the episode that tells the resurrection of Tabitha by Peter's intercession. Father Nirwan emphasized the fact that both Christ and Peter remained in prayer, albeit in a different way, before the dead, before performing the miracle of the resurrection. The tradition of praying for the deceased is thus found in the scriptures and is known since the beginning of the life of the Church. They are dead, but we hope that those who believe in Jesus Christ will have eternal life. For this reason, following the teaching of the Gospel, we are continuing what the primitive Church and Jesus himself did. After the celebration, the faithful walked in procession starting from the church site, singing and meditating on the mysteries of the Rosary, and carrying flowers crossed the old city of Jerusalem until they arrived at the cemeteries of Mount Zion.
Quando noi siamo fortunati qui abitanti di Gerusalemme che proprio mettiamoci.
How lucky are we who live in Jerusalem and bury our dead at Mount Zion. The procession proceeding from the parish is a witness for both Muslims and Jews. They certainly wonder where we are going, why we do this. The reason is that we go and pray for the deceased because prayer has an important meaning for all, Christians, Muslims, and Jews.
Di andare a pregare perché la preghiera per noi, come anche per i musulmani, anche per gli ebrei, molto importante per i morti.
The Franciscan cemetery was the first stop, near the Gate of Zion. Here are buried the friars of the custody of the Holy Land who died in Jerusalem. The procession then proceeded toward the two parish cemeteries, the oldest and the newer one. A moment of prayer preceded the blessing of the individual tombs. We celebrate the memory of the dead every year, coming here to pray and visiting our loved ones, our relatives, and parents. The commemoration of the deceased is a duty, so once a year we should attend a Mass with the clergy. After praying in church, we go to the cemetery with the priest to bless the tombs, where lie the bodies of the souls that are in heaven. In the second cemetery we can find, among others, the tomb of Oskar Schindler, the German who, during the Second World War, saved more than 2,000 Jews from a certain death. White stones leaning on his grave, according to Jewish tradition, indicate that his memory continues to be alive. The Day of the Dead is an invitation to raise our eyes to heaven, to overcome the narrow earthly horizon toward the celestial Jerusalem. Be like shepherds and like angels. This is the desire of the Custos of the Holy Land. During the inauguration of the Shepherd's Field Fraternity on November 1st, the small community, daughter of that of Bethlehem, is composed of two friars, Jose Maria and Manuel. The sanctuaries we look after allow us to experience the blessing of the place, Father Patone pointed out during the homily. This field, he continued, allows us to remember at the same time the shepherd's watch and the praising song of the angels.
Il desiderio di aprire questa casa è stato
The desire to open this home is linked to the fact that this shrine attracts a lot of pilgrims, and therefore we want to have a settled community that will serve them and that is dedicated to the care of the sanctuary. We think it is important that pilgrims are welcome and well received.
perché pensiamo che è importante e che I pellegrini siano benvenuti e ben ricevuti.
The ceremony took place in one of the grottos where, in all probability, 2,000 years ago, shepherds watched their flocks when they received the angel's grand announcement. That night was remembered with the proclamation of Luke's Gospel and the reading of the Christmas story at Greccio, drawn from the Franciscan sources. According to tradition, St. Francis of Assisi was the first to reproduce the nativity set. The friars present walked in procession on the notes of the song Adeste Fideles toward the convent. Here, after the reading from the secretary of the official opening decree, Brother David Grenier, and after the delivery of the seal, the friars prayed together and received the solemn blessing of the Custos. This was a blessing for a new beginning in a place and in a decisive time for pilgrims all over the world.
Qui, al campo dei pastori,
Here, at the shepherd's field, the two grottos are the places of simplicity and the sites for minorities. Here we wait for the baby, the child of Bethlehem. Here we prepare Christmas. Here, in this very special
un
place.
luogo così speciale.
More than 2,000 Catholic faithful from all over the Holy Land, together with pilgrims from various countries in Spain, Belgium, England, and the United States, gathered in the monastery of Deir Rafat. Here, about 30 kilometers from Jerusalem, they celebrated the feast dedicated to Our Lady, Queen of Palestine. The highlight of the festival, the Eucharistic celebration, presided over by Monsignor Pier Battista Pizzaballa, was marked by the Arab traditions and songs. Beautiful feast, because it is very popular and because it is usually attended by Christians from Palestine, from Israel, by some Christians from Jordan, along with pilgrims. They are the universal and local church that meet under the mantle of Our Lady. As always, especially for us Christians, it is the Mother who brings us together. During the homily, the patriarchal vicar for Galilee, Father Hannah Caldani, emphasized that when Mary was with the apostles in the cenacle, she helped them keep hope alive. Today, she helps us to see God's light, even though we are crossing a dark tunnel. The first time I heard about this feast, and now I believe it should be an obligation as a Palestinian to come every year. I am pleased to admire this place and to be able to attend Mass here. After Mass, the faithful carried in procession the statue of Our Lady, Queen of Palestine, around the sanctuary. We attend this festival every year. We drive down to Deir Rafat. We always speak with Our Lady, especially because she is a daughter of Nazareth. People had the opportunity to confess, as well as the possibility of meeting other people and even joining them for lunch. I used to come here to this feast, first with my family and then with the Scouts. I have not been here for a long time, so I thank God that I was able to participate this year. Behind the scenes, in the kitchen, we came across an example of unity.
It's my fourth time already volunteering this Mass, and some other times when they have here summer camps, I come and cook. It's nice. It's an opportunity to be in the kitchen with Israelis, with Muslims, Christians, Jews, Arabs. It's great.
The sanctuary was built in 1928. On that occasion, the then Patriarch of Jerusalem, Bishop Luigi Barlesina, established a feast devoted to the Queen of Palestine to ask for peace. It is interesting to know that the site corresponds to the ancient Philistine, the land of Samson, one of the judges quoted in the Bible. Introducing the city of Jerusalem to its children is the simple but unexpectedly necessary purpose of the project Learn Closely, guided tours of historical and religious sites, promoted by ATS, the Terra Association, in collaboration with the Jericho Mosaic Center. Launched by the latter in 2016, together with the UNDP and the Islamic Bank, the project was possible thanks to the involvement and contribution in recent months of the custodian NGO non-governmental organization, which has allowed its extension until May 2018. During our tours, we talk about history and about major Jerusalem sites, following two major thematic routes: mosaics and water. We have, therefore, visited places related to these two themes, such as the Church of St. John, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the Convent of the Flagellation, or the Via Dolorosa and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. We have noticed a great desire to participate in the project because many people, even though they live here, they do not know the history, tradition, and culture of their own city. Since the 2016-2017 school year, the initiative has already involved nearly 2,000 students aged 8 to 15, in addition to their teachers and parents. So far, 13 schools have joined the project for a total of nearly 100 visits. The inevitable stop is the Via Dolorosa and the transmission section of the Terra Museum at the Convent of the Flagellation. The route includes both Christian and Muslim sites. In fact, the students visit the mosque, the Church of St. Anne, and then they come here where they watch the video that lasts 15 minutes. They are very happy because this is a novelty for them. We visited the Mount of Olives in Gethsemane, and then we saw this video. I liked it so much. We are happy to have visited and to have discovered new churches. The commenting in the video is done very well. The teachers helped us and explained to us the Palestinian tradition. Most of the schools participating in the project are Muslim, as are some of the chaperones who accompany the students. This is a little gesture of good neighborliness and friendly coexistence, which goes in the direction of the wish expressed by Custos Francesco Patone for the various sections of the Terra Sancta Museum. Let the children come too, so they learn about this beautiful and charming story to which we also belong. Jewelry, accessories, household items, ornaments, and decorative items, all unquestionably unique. From the Palestinian tradition revisited in modern style, special creations arose. It is the 8th edition of the Palestinian Women's Bazaar, an event organized by the American Consulate in Jerusalem, involving craftswomen and artists from the Holy City, as well as from the West Bank and the Gaza Strip. Among the over 130 booths, the will of these little women emerged to infiltrate the business world. Nadia, a Christian in Bethlehem, is one of them. After starting her career as a fashion designer abroad, she decided to return to her homeland to create jewelry and accessories made with olive wood. 2012 was the beginning of my career. I was invited to attend the Fashion Week in Amman, Jordan. This is a big step for me. The first important fashion show. Through my work, I wanted to bring out my origins, so I thought of purely Bethlehemite symbols, one of which is the olive tree. Therefore, I decided to prepare a set of accessories to be worn by the models during the parades. The cultivation of olive wood in these lands is a centuries-old tradition, resistant but at the same time ductile for different types of use. Olive wood has a particular grain that characterizes it, giving a particular charm to every single piece. I usually prepare a sketch of the idea I have in mind. Then with the help of a calligraphist, I give it its final form and design. Then we finalize it and print it. Finally, we do the cutting work manually so we can get the final
بعدين
product.
بالإيد بنقوم بنحته وتوصيله للمنتج النهائي.
Buying these products not only supports the work of these entrepreneurs, but also their tradition and their history. I decided to go back to work in my country, but I continue to promote my products abroad because unfortunately our domestic market is still limited. I hope that as time passes, my job will only depend on the local market.
يصير شغلي يعتمد على السوق المحلي.